Hey everyone, welcome to this short video about solving compound inequalities. So first things first, you need to make sure you have this downloaded. We did this at the end of class yesterday, but in case you need a refresher, please go to Canvas, find our course. Within the modules, you'll see that under week 7, there's solving compound inequalities. I moved it under to Tuesday. Use the share arrow and open it in Notability. Click import and voila, you're done. Then go into Notability and you'll be able to open it and you'll see that it's this problem or this equation. I'm sorry, this worksheet. So to recap, we did the very first problem and that was it together. You can see that compound inequalities were just like we were working yesterday when we were graphing. There's more than one thing going on, right? And our number one goal is to get the variable alone. Oftentimes it's x, but it doesn't have to be. And usually the variable's in the middle. All right, so if I look at this very first problem that's worked out, x is in the middle and nowhere else. And so our goal is to use SADMEP, so PEMDAS backwards, to get whatever letter we're working with totally by itself. So can you add or subtract from left to right? Can you multiply or divide from left to right? And typically there's no exponents or parentheses, but in the event that there was, you'd use that too. And again, our number one goal is just to get that stinking variable all alone. So in our first problem, we had -5 is less than x plus 5 is less than 5. As you can see, our goal to get the variable alone, we took away 5 on both sides. Whatever we did in the middle to get x alone, we did on the left and the right. So instead of whatever you do on one side, you do to the other, it's like whatever you do in the middle, you do everywhere on all of the sides. And when we simplified that, we ended up getting the statement -10 is less than x is less than 0. So just like we practiced yesterday, break this into two chunks. This chunk right here can be rewritten as x is greater than -10. This chunk right here can be written as x is less than 0 and graph both. Since they're greater than and less than, we have our open circle. And x is less than 0 is going to the left, open circle at 10, and x is bigger than -10 is on the right. And remember, we only want the overlap, so that's why my graph, you only see the two open circles and the shaded region between them. I don't want where it's just purple or just blue. I want it just where the overlap of the two are. So let's move on to problem number 2. Okay, again, our goal is to get the variable alone, and we have an inequality happening over here on problem 2. I personally like to draw a line down my inequalities just to remind me that whatever I do to the center, I do to all sides. And currently, I have x is not alone. I have 3x plus 4, and looking at that center, it is not just x. So I'm going to have to use SADMEP to get it alone. Remember, add or subtract from left to right first. So if I'm looking in this middle area here, is there anything I can add or subtract that's going to help me get closer to getting x alone? And I need to undo adding 4. So the inverse of addition is subtraction. Whoops. Whatever I do on one side, I do everywhere now. This is going to leave me with 1 take away 4 is -3. This is 3x, and this is 6. And my inequalities are still here. Okay. Again, going back to the center. Currently, is x alone? No, it is not. So now that I've added or subtracted, I need to multiply or divide to help myself get x alone. Currently, this is 3 times x. So if I divide by 3, that's going to help these guys go away. And when I do that, that's going to end up giving me, let's see, this is -1, this is x, and this is 2. So -1 is less than x is less than 2. And if I rewrite that, that's the same as if I'm taking this chunk right here. That's the same as saying x is greater than -1. Right, notice the 2 dots are closest to x, the 2 dots are closest to x, And also, so that's the first piece, x is less than 2. X is less than 2. So I want to graph both of these. And something else that's kind of frustrating about this worksheet in particular, so I apologize, is the fact that you're going to need to label the number line. You can be precise and count them out and make it accurate, or you could just kind of put some numbers there. Since it's labeled, that would be considered accurate. But I'm going to just pick like -1 here, 0, 1, 2. And if x is greater than -1, that's an open circle. If x is less than 2, that's also an open circle. And the shading will be like so. Again, if you want to see why that is, x is less than 2 would be going this direction. X is greater than -1 would be going this direction. And I really only care about the overlap. Okay. So every now and then you'll reach a problem like 3 or 4 where they're separated. And you might be thinking, Ms. Passmore, compound inequalities, you said that there's more than one, that they're together. Well, remember yesterday when we were graphing them, they could be separated too. Just like I separated the compound inequalities in problems 1 and 2 to help me graph. So if that's the case, it's fine. Just drop a line down your inequalities. And then again, your goal is to still get the variable alone. Sometimes you have to do the same type of work. Sometimes you have to do slightly different work. But again, we're using SADMAP, add or subtract first from left to right, to get the variable alone. So on this first problem on number 3, I can see that k is not really in the middle at this moment, but I need to get k alone. So I'm going to add 3 on both sides. And when I do that, I end up with k is greater than 4. And on the second statement, I'm still going to add 3. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. And now I have k is less than 2. Right, if I'm following this. And I'm just going to graph these two. So if this is 2, 3, this would be 4 over here. Again, I just kind of picked anywhere. If k is less than 2, that means I'm shading this way. If k is greater than 4, it's open circle. It's bigger, I'm going this way. Boom. Voila. Now problem 4 is the same idea, where you have b that you're trying to get alone. And it's not necessarily the same steps, but that's okay. Your goal is to get the letter alone. Get your variable alone. So here on this problem, if we add or subtract 2, I'm trying to undo subtraction. I'll get b is greater than 20. For this problem over here, there's no adding or subtracting, but I do want to divide by 3. And doing that leaves me with b is less than 54 divided by 3, which I think is 18. Again, this can be anywhere on the number line, but if I just call this like 18, then this would have to be 20. b is greater than 20 is an open circle, and it's bigger, so we're going to the right. b is less than 18 is an open circle, and it's smaller, so we're going to the left. Or your graph might look something like these guys. So what I would like you to do is work through the rest. On problems 9 and 10, you're going to need to draw your own number line because they're not there. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Mrs. Quiros is here to help you should you have any questions. And after you finish this, you also have Delta Math 4. Good luck, Bears.